Okay, Darren, first of all, how are the squad looking ahead of the weekend?
Yeah, we're in good spirits. I mean, the performance on Tuesday night was something to be proud of. But I've made sure, certainly coming in today, the players know how they've been playing, and it's been good. It's been a joy to watch. I think the supporters have seen it, but again, we got to get down to the nitty-gritty stuff again now on Saturday, because it's important, and I want them to just think about their discipline going into this next game.
Yeah, I mean, you were so pleased with the performance, weren't you, against Plymouth and Portsmouth for that matter. I mean, it is a sign there, plenty of sign there for the fans to see that things are turning around now.
Yeah, I mean, for me, we've turned it round in a short space of time. I mean, you could certainly see that in the home game against Stevenage in the FA Cup. There was massive changes, massive improvements, and the players have led that as soon as they've crossed that white line, and that's a proud moment as a manager when they do that.
Yeah, and how important is it to have your experienced players coming back into the team in recent times? I mean, you talk about your captain, for example. It's key to have that kind of experience in the team as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always key to have your best players in the team, and they're all performing, and yeah, it's a nice feeling, and it's a nice environment to be in.
Yeah, and injury-wise, are you okay for the weekend?
Yeah, we're doing okay. We've got one or two coming back. That'll be hopefully in the squad for Saturday. So, things are good. Everything's positive around the football club, and we go into the Dagenham game in good spirits.
Yeah, and it sounds obvious, but from a manager's point of view, to have a fully fit squad, what difference does that make to you to have all your best players coming back available?
I think any manager up and down the country want a good squad to pick from. And the ones that have been involved have been consistent, and the ones that have been coming off the bench have been consistent in their performances, and that's what squads are used for. Squads are used for that rotation, and they've all responded to what we're trying to achieve, and that's to make sure this fantastic football club stay in the Football League.
Yeah, and Brendan Goodship, the latest recruit, what do you hope he's going to bring to the team?
I think you could see on Tuesday he's got pace. He's a good finisher. He would have been disappointed not to put his chances away on Tuesday, but having said that, that'll come. They just got to keep believing, keep getting in those positions, and every game that they get with us at this football club, so they can express themselves, they become better players, and you could see that certainly with Liam Walsh and Connor Roberts.
Yeah, I mean, talking about that really, about the loan players that you've brought in, I mean, when they make an impact, I mean, it just shows the judgment there, doesn't it? That, you are bringing the right players into the club.
Yeah, I think you have to get it right. It takes a lot of talking with other managers, it takes a lot of talking with your own staff. You need to know their personalities, whether they're going to fit into the system you're going to play in. And Liam Walsh and Connor Roberts are good examples that if you get your loans right, they can make good impacts. And with Campbell, Goodship, Cornick, they're all giving their all for the football club, and that's a thing that the footballers need to bring in an environment we're in, because when you bring in loan players in a relegation battle, sometimes that could scare the life out of you. If you're not big and bold enough, but they've carried that responsibility.
Yeah, Dagenham Redbridge, is it fair to say, I mean, it's probably a bit strong to say it's a must-win game, but it's a game you can ill afford to lose?
Every game since I've taken over as manager has been a must-win. I think at the start of it, if we didn't win, I wouldn't have been manager of the football club. And I've tried to detract that and focus on performances. And if you get performances, you 9 times out of 10 win games.
Yeah, I mean, you can go there, I guess, with confidence given your recent performances.
Yeah, performances have been good, certainly against tough opposition. But we know what's at stake on Saturday, but let's make sure the performance is there.
Yeah, what do you expect from Dagenham?
Dagenham can be a direct team. I know they've not picked up loads of results recently, and they're sat bottom of the table, but they're the ones that you got to be aware of, and they're the teams that you got to look out for. They got a very experienced manager, and he's good at his job, and he's ended up at a club fighting, for what the consequences are massive. I mean, if you take a club down into the conference nowadays, it's not something to be proud of. You know, you want to make sure you do your job, because you know, it means a lot to supporters, it means a lot to staff, and you know, we have to make sure that we're doing everything we can to keep this club in the Football League, and players need to take that responsibility on Saturday.
Yeah, and given the position of both teams, I mean, valuable 3 points, priceless 3 points, really, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think every point you gain, you could see that point on Tuesday was a hard-fought point. We deserved to win, but it took us out of the relegation zone, so it was a massive result. Yeah,
a look at Dagenham. They got Jamie Curtin in the team. He's probably a player that you've probably played against, isn't he?
Jamie I was at Norwich with, so yeah, he's someone that I know really well, and he's a very clever player. Whether he's playing or not, I'm not too sure, and you know, he can finish, so we've got to make sure we'll be aware of their threats.
Yeah, what do you, I mean, are you surprised by the longevity of his career?
I think you've only got to look at Darren Ward. If you look after yourself and you're disciplined, which is the word that I'm going to be using going into this next game, to make sure players are disciplined, and the way they look after themselves, the way they conduct themselves on the pitch on Saturday will be important to me, and I think if you've got that, you'll make a real good career.
Yeah. Good luck, Darren. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
This is, you've obviously on the back of 2 good home performances, Darren. You spoke about improving home form, and you've done that. Away form, the Hartlepool game was the first one you said perhaps a bit disappointing. It's your first away game since then. You're looking to do the same with the away form now?
Yeah, of course. The away form was poor, and having said that, we still had good performances. I thought Wimbledon was a fantastic result. So we'll be looking to make sure we match the same performance as Wimbledon.
And Dagenham haven't actually won at home all season. Is that a good thing going into it, or is it something you don't even
look at? Listen, there's rules to be broken. That's why rules are there. But I think it's important that players conduct themselves in the right manner, and that they prepare themselves in the right way, because we've just gone up against Portsmouth, and then the turnover of Plymouth as to the way we're playing. We got to make sure we play with that same intensity, and that's what we got to focus on.